The sun had long vanished behind the tall pines when Emily Carter's car rolled onto the cracked dirt road that led deep into the wilderness. The GPS had stopped working an hour ago, and there was no signal. She was lost, exhausted, and the growing mist whispered like something alive. Her best friend, Mia, had sent her the coordinates to Cabin 28, a secluded Airbnb for a weekend getaway. After a messy breakup and months of burnout, Emily needed an escape. Or at least, she thought she did. When she finally spotted the crooked mailbox with faded numbers 28, she exhaled in relief. The cabin stood behind a row of shadowed fir trees, its windows glowing dimly in the fog like sleepy eyes. It looked old, too old, but charming in a rustic way. A porch swing creaked lazily, though there was no wind. She parked, grabbed her duffel bag, and walked toward the door, noticing how the forest seemed to swallow the light behind her. The key was right where the host said it would be, in a rusted metal box nailed beside the door. She entered, flicking on the lights. The bulbs flickered, then steadied, revealing a surprisingly clean interior. Wooden floors, stone fireplace, and a shelf stacked with old books. A taxidermy deer head stared down at her from above the mantel, its glass eyes glinting. "Cozy enough," Emily whispered, trying to shake the uneasy feeling crawling up her neck. She opened her laptop, intending to message Mia, but of course, no Wi-Fi. She sighed, lit the fireplace, and poured herself a glass of wine. The fire crackled warmly, but behind that comfort lurked silence, a heavy kind that made her ears ring. As night deepened, she began hearing sounds. First, soft scratching on the back door. Then, what sounded like footsteps on the porch. When she checked, there was nothing but fog. She told herself it was just animals. At around midnight, while scrolling through her offline photos, the cabin phone rang. She jumped. She hadn't even noticed the old rotary phone sitting by the lamp. Who would call out here? She answered. "Hello." Static hissed for a long moment before a woman's voice whispered, "Don't let them in." Emily froze. "Who is this?" The line went dead. She slammed the phone down, her pulse hammering. "Just a prank," she told herself. "Maybe some local kids messing around." Still, she checked the locks on every door and window before heading to bed. Sometime in the early hours, she woke to the sound of footsteps inside the cabin. Not outside, inside. Her breath caught in her throat. The footsteps were slow, deliberate, creaking the floorboards closer and closer. She grabbed the fireplace poker, tiptoed toward the living room, and saw nothing. The front door was still locked. The windows were intact. Yet the deer head above the fireplace was gone. In its place was something else, something that looked like a mask made of stitched human skin, nailed to the wall. Her scream died in her throat as the lights flickered violently. For a split second, she saw a tall shadow standing near the window, face obscured by that same horrific mask. When the lights steadied again, it was gone. Emily ran to her bag, grabbed her keys, and bolted outside. But the car wouldn't start. She tried over and over, her trembling hands slick with sweat. That's when she saw movement in the tree lean. 3 figures watching her. Their faces were hidden under crude, flesh-colored masks, their heads tilted unnaturally. Panic surged through her. She sprinted back toward the cabin, slammed the door shut, and pushed a chair under the handle. From the window, she saw them step closer, slow and synchronized. She tried to phone again, dead. She ran upstairs, clutching her poker, and hid in a small bedroom closet. The floorboards below groaned. The front door creaked open. Several were inside. Their soft, deliberate footsteps spread through the cabin. One of them began humming a lullaby. Emily covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. She heard them move up the stairs. The door to the bedroom opened. She could see their shadows under the closet door, their whispering voices like static-filled radio signals. Then silence. A full minute. 2. She exhaled shakily. And then, the closet door swung open. A pale figure in a skin mask leaned down, inches from her face. The mask had hollow eye holes, but behind them, she saw movement. Something alive, writhing under the skin. She screamed and swung the poker, connecting hard. The figure stumbled back, hissing. She ran, barefoot, down the stairs and into the woods. Branches tore at her arms as she sprinted blindly through the mist. The sound of footsteps followed, Many of them. She ran until she found a dirt road. Headlights, thank God, approaching. She stumbled into the path of a pickup truck. It screeched to a stop. The driver, a bearded man in a sheriff's jacket, jumped out. "Miss, are you all right?" She collapsed against him, sobbing. "There are people at the cabin. They tried to kill me." He nodded slowly. "Cabin 28? Her eyes widened. "Yes. Please, you have to call for help." The man's expression darkened. "That place burned down 40 years ago. No one's lived there since." Emily froze. "What?" He tilted his head. The skin around his face twitched, peeling slightly, revealing the edge of a mask. The last thing she heard before the world went black was his voice, soft and muffled under the mask. "Welcome home." When morning came, the forest was quiet again. A new listing appeared on a rental site that day. Cabin 28, rustic, isolated, perfect for a weekend escape. Emily's photo smiled brightly in the host profile. But her eyes were all wrong.